Well, the dawn of this morning came with this tragic motor accident that claimed 10 lives in Mahayangana. A detailed report on this story will follow, but first, let's take a look at tonight's headlines.
10 killed in fatal motor accident in Mahayangana. 42 lives lost during the past 3 days owing to motor accidents. Thunder showers experienced in many parts of the island. Several airplanes diverted from Katunayaka to Mattala. Mahinda Amaravira hints of changes in the political environment. Mahinda Rajapaksa's stance on the next presidential candidate.
ජයග්‍රහණය ස්ථීරවම ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න පුළුවන් පුද්ගලයා තමයි අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ.
Now for those stories in detail. The remains of the 10 individuals who were killed in an accident early this morning currently remain at the Mahayangana Base Hospital. The deceased have been identified as residents of the Mamangama area in Batiklo.
Mayangana main road right in front of the Mayangana National School, where the accident took place today in the morning at 1:35, where a van was travelling towards Mayangana with 12 people who are residents of Batiklo. 10 people died and 2 people have been admitted to the hospital. According to the bus driver has stopped the vehicle 300 meters away from this place to have tea, and then he was coming in a very slow speed. According to the bus driver, the van has come to the wrong side, and that is how this accident took place.
12 relatives of 3 families were in the van at the time of the accident, and 10 of the 12 had died on the spot. The group, who had left Noor earlier for a holiday, had met with the accident on their way home to Batiklo. The deceased included 3 children, 3 females and 4 males. Among the deceased are members belonging to 2 families, where the mother, father and twin children of one family and the father, mother and daughter of another were killed in this tragic accident. The 19-year-old driver of the van was also killed.
I spoke to my mother last night. She told me that they would return tonight or early morning tomorrow. I was not aware that they were returning last night. I asked them to come tomorrow morning. My father, mother and elder sister, as well as her husband and 2 kids and my other sister's family, they were all killed in the accident.
2 teenage girls, one aged 13 and 16, who sustained severe injuries, were admitted to the Mahayangana Base Hospital and were later transferred to the Badulla General Hospital. They are currently receiving treatment at the ICU. Meanwhile, 6 passengers of the bus who sustained minor injuries were admitted to the Mahayangana Base Hospital and were discharged upon receiving treatment. The police said the driver of the bus was apprehended and produced before the Mahayangana magistrate. He was later released on 2 sureties of 200,000 rupees each. The remains of the victims are due to be handed over to the families today. Passengers, especially when travelling at night, must not place complete trust in the driver. 1:35 a.m. is a time when anyone can fall asleep. Passengers have the responsibility and duty of speaking to the driver and make sure he doesn't sleep at the wheel. Passengers must at least ask the driver whether he feels tired and sleepy. Drivers must also refrain from driving when they feel sleepy. If drivers do feel sleepy behind the wheel, they must drink some water or tea, wash their face and resume their journey. We are now joined by Warren Maxwell once again to get the latest from Mahayangana. Warren?
Yes, Shine, the post-mortem examination of the victims are currently being carried out here in this hospital that you can see behind, the Mayangana Base Hospital. The remains of the victims several victims were handed over to their families, and also, as you all can see, the family members are gathered here in this place opposite the hospital. For the Newsfirst team, I am Warren Maxwell.
Well, thank you very much, Warren. Well, police said around 42 people have been killed due to accidents from 6 a.m. on the 13th of April to 6 a.m. this morning. The number of accidents during the 24-hour window, which ended at 6 this morning, stands at 12, resulting in the death of around 22 people. One person was killed in an accident that took place in Madurupitiya along the Anuradhapura-Vilachia main road. Our correspondent said the accident occurred when a motorbike and a lorry collided onto each other. A 45-year-old pillion rider of the motorbike was killed in the accident. The injured rider of the motorbike has been admitted to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. Police arrested the driver of the lorry. One person was killed when a motorbike veered off the road this morning in Kotavila Valigama. Police said 3 people were travelling on the motorbike at the time of the accident. The deceased was a 19-year-old youth of Valigama. 2 people have been severely injured in an accident close to the Butlagala Bridge in Hatton. This was a result of a head-on collision of a lorry and a motorbike. The 2 injured have been admitted to the Dik-Oya Base Hospital. A 23-year-old woman was killed and another was injured in an accident that took place in the Enderagala area along the Dambulla Haburana main road last night. Police said the accident had taken place when 2 motorbikes collided onto each other. One person was killed after he fell off a bus in Kyrgyzstan over Parnagama. A tense situation arose following the accident. Police said officers from the Uva Parnagama, Valimada and Udupusallau police stations were called to intervene into the situation. The driver of the bus has been arrested. The Department of Meteorology says that thunder showers can be expected in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, southern, Uva, northwestern and north central provinces until 11 tonight. Now issuing an advisory, the Natural Hazards Early Warning Centre says the general public should remain vigilant about the prevailing weather condition.
Heavy rainfall was reported from the catchment areas of the Castlereagh and Mausakale reservoirs. A section of the Hatton-Colombo main road in Malliapur area was inundated due to heavy rains in Bhagavantalava, Norwood, Muskelia and Hatton. According to our correspondent, vehicular movement was hampered for around half an hour. The Met Department has forecast heavy rains of about 100 millimeters in the Anuradhapura district tonight. Several flights scheduled to the Bandar Naik International Airport also had to be diverted to the Mattala Airport. Sri Lankan Airlines said its flights from Jakarta, Singapore and Kuala Lumpur had to be diverted. It added Sri Lankan Airlines flight UL-140 from Madurai to Colombo was diverted to the Madurai airport in India. The website added that the flights had arrived at the Bandar Naik International Airport after the weather became favourable.
Residents in Padiyathalava are facing difficulties due to the prevailing drought in the area.
This is the situation of the villagers that come under the purview of the Padiyathalava Divisional Secretariat. Locals of 6 villages are severely inconvenienced due to the lack of water in the area. Hinatamulla in Padiyathalava is one such area that is experiencing a drought.
කිලෝමීටර් 3-4ක් දුර ගෙවාගෙන යන වතුර ටික ඉතාමත් අර පිරිසිමස් මෙන් ආහාර ටික පිසීමට ළමින්ගේ ඇඳුම් සෝදා ගැනීමට टॉयलेट පහසුකම් වල ටික දොවා ගන්නවා. ආන්නේ කියන්නේ මාස 9 මේ වගේ ලින්හාර්ලා ඔයේ.
Residents charge that the water from the tube wells are not suitable for consumption.
නලින් ගහලා තියෙනවා. නලින් වල වතුර බොන්න බෑ. මම තනි කළ මාලකට රස එන්නේ. උගුරේ නිකන් බැදින්නා වගේ වෙනවා.
තේ බොන කොටත් උඩ මේ මලකඩ තියෙනවා.
අපි ලිඳන් අපේ සරමෙන් අපි හාරාගෙන පාරවල් කපාගෙන අපි දැන් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. අපේ මේ ගම සාමාන්‍ය මේ රජේ ලියාපදිංචි කරලා තියෙනවා දෝ නැද්ද කියලා මට හිතනවා වෙලාව.
Good evening. Those what you saw were the hardships that the citizens of our country are facing, and they are facing these hardships and they fail sometimes to make ends meet, and it seems that these difficulties seems to be increasing day by day. During such a time of hardships, many poverty-stricken families turn to the Samurdhi subsidiary program as to be a helping hand for their already difficult lives. However, when reading through the special report published by the Auditor General on the contribution of the Samurdhi subsidy program for the empowerment of Samurdhi beneficiaries, one could question as to whether this subsidiary program has been fully effective since its inception. Now, the Auditor General's report has utilized several focus groups, and they have identified several focus groups from several areas, and they have shown several issues which exist in this Samurdhi program. Now, as you can see, this is an online copy which is available at the Auditor General's website, which is available for your perusal. And when you go through the observations made by this report, you can see that there are several discrepancies which occur. The chief observation made by the Auditor General is the fact that the government has failed to prepare a state policy in respect of empowerment of beneficiaries by defining who the Samurdhi beneficiary is and what empowerment would inculcate, thereby resulting in the government incurring large-scale expenditures annually. Further, the report states that in the years between 2014 and 2016, the financial assistance provided to the families living off the Samurdhi subsidy program had been increased. Now, accordingly, by the year 2016, the total benefit received per one Samurdhi beneficiary amounted to 29,706 rupees, which is an increase from 11,736 rupees in 2014. Now, although this seems to be a timely increase and this seems to be an advantage to those who are involved in the Samurdhi benefit scheme, between these years, several discrepancies have been observed in the distribution of this subsidy, which is yet another alarming fact. Now, when you go through these observations further, you can see that an expenditure of 4.3 million rupees had been incurred in 2016 when the e-Samurdhi data system was created. Now, this system was supposed to include information regarding the Samurdhi beneficiaries and low-income earners of the country. But as most things in Sri Lanka, the data system had not been updated, costing the country 4.3 million rupees, which cannot be regained or reobtained by this government. Moreover, even though it was clear that some of the subsidies could be obtained by beneficiaries at any time, now these were emphasized by various circulars that some of the beneficiaries can obtain these subsidies at any given time. However, several balances had remained in community-based banks, sometimes more than 100,000 rupees. Now, one could question if the Samurdhi benefit, the Samurdhi benefit or the subsidy is given to those who are in low-income families, who come from low-income families, how could they not obtain the Samurdhi benefit to live their lives, because these are extremely poverty-stricken families, and how could they leave a balance of sometimes more than 100,000 rupees in their savings accounts and not utilize them? Now, also beneficiaries had been persuaded to obtain loans by delaying the payments of the subsidies as well. taking a look at several more observations made by or through this report, the beneficiaries had also been deprived of the opportunity of knowing the accurate balances of their accounts. Now, it has also been revealed that several frauds had occurred over the years in 18 banks and banking societies which fall directly under the purview of the Sri Lanka Samruddhi Authority. Sometimes it had amounted up to 12,023,000 rupees, and further another 167 rupees had been fraudulently obtained from 63 banks between the years of 2014 and 2016. Yet another observation is that although 90 million rupees had been allocated in 2016 for the development of infrastructure, that amount had only been utilized for development purposes of 7 districts instead of utilizing the money to provide assistance to all 25 districts. Moreover, money from the Samruddhi Social Development Trust Fund had been used for other purposes, which was deviating from programs which would uplift the living conditions of Samruddhi beneficiaries. Now, against such a backdrop where the poorest of the poor seem to be suffering more and more day by day, and while their subsidies are being looted in broad daylight before their own eyes, these are the issues which our politicians seemed to be facing. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Jayamal. Now moving on to more local news. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa attended an oil anointing ceremony this morning at the Bellanvilla Rajama Vihara, along with former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
The anointing of oil was carried out by the chief incumbent Thera of the Bellanvilla Rajamaha Vihara, Venerable Bellanvilla Dhammaratna Thero. We are in debt to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. We are able to travel to Point Dondra in Matara and come back in a short time because of his services and the services of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The opposition leader then spoke to journalists. There are no conspiracies. We are ready to topple the government at any time. We have the right to do so at any time. No, we have not said that. We will take a decision together with all the parties and present someone who can win for sure. There is no problem here. There will be more cases. No, we will wait and see. Anyone can file cases. That itself depicts how scared they are. People say they are going on well. Consensus is important. We must reach an agreement, and so must they.
Following an event in Kandy, Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla commented about statements made on the change of governments and presidential candidates.
No, there's no such thing. A majority of 113 is required to form any government. If a government is formed with no majority, that government will also have to face what Mahinda Rajapaksa faced. How will the other party choose their candidate? The candidate will be chosen by the family members. It's a monarchy. But the United National Party is not like that. It is a people's party. Our candidate will be chosen by the working committee and the MPs. We hope our party leader Ranil Wickramasinghe will contest. The so-called candidate of the Flowerbud Party has cases filed against him internationally. It's a shame. If we had someone from our government with such a claim, we'd never keep him with us.
Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya has been recommended to be awarded an honorary title by the Sri Lanka Amarapura Mahanikaya. The Executive Committee of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Mahanikaya convened at the Dharmapala Vihara in Mount Lavinia yesterday. The recommendation was officially announced, stating that the Speaker is recommended for the title in appreciation of his services to the nation, religion and community. Sri Lanka has become the distribution center for alcohol and drugs. I would like to state this with the Sangha community as a witness that we will bless you with the strength and courage in the mission to rid this country of the drug menace and to fulfill the religious and community services. In order to guide this country onto the correct path, I have on a number of occasions advised the leaders of this country not to leave the current problems to be solved by the generations to come. If our President, Prime Minister, Opposition Leader and all party leaders could sit down at one table and solve these problems together, that would be the biggest service we would do for the future generations. Parliamentarian Mahinda Amaravira expressed the following views about political changes in Angunukola Palace today. This year we'll see a lot of changes when it comes to politics. Even according to the Avrudu Nakata, many transformations will take place this year. Addressing a gathering in Bibila today, former Minister Vijit Vijayamoni said everyone must come together to solve the issues faced by the people. All political party leaders must unite if we are to uplift the economy and the living standards of our people. The President, Prime Minister, Opposition Leader and the rest of the members in Parliament must come together and develop our country, and then you can ascertain the choice of the people through an election. Currently, the issue of the people is not who the next president will be. It does not matter whether it is Gotabaya, Maithripala Sirisena, Ranil Wickremesinghe or even me. As people who understand the pulse of the people, we know that people are dissatisfied mainly because the political climate in the country is unstable. Whenever there is stability being built up, there are those who conspire against it. President Maithripala Sirisena worshipped the Tirupati Kovil in India this morning and obtained blessings. Several family members of the president also attended the occasion. The president is on a 2-day tour of India. Another bridge constructed under the Gramia Palam project in the Hambantota district was vested with the public today under the auspices of the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
The package that leaders, MPs and ministers constantly speak of is the relief package. When politicians speak of this package, we learn of another type of package from the general public. The public speaks of a package for bribery, commissions, stolen money and a package of destroyed national resources. These are the packages the general public speak of. When politicians speak of a package for development, the public refers to it as a package for bribes. When this package is interpreted in two different ways, it is clear to all of us that there is a major issue in our country. The people had lost confidence in the representatives elected by them. Throughout the recent past, after the people vote for them and elect them as their representatives, the people's expectations are shattered. What should we do to rectify this situation where the development package we speak of is referred to as a package for bribes by the people? Every politician must win the trust and confidence of the people without any political division.
Connecting two villages in the Angunukola Palace Alutwawa area in Tangol, this bridge was constructed at a cost of 34.2 million rupees. Visiri housing loans were provided to low-income families in line with today's event.
Governor of the Western Province Asad Salih says he is awaiting the recommendations of the Public Service Commission on what steps need to be taken regarding the Municipal Commissioner of Colombo.
Municipal Commissioner of Colombo, V.K. Anura, was removed from his position based on a recommendation made by the Presidential Commission appointed to probe the collapse of the Meethotamulla garbage dump. The removal was done on the 2nd of March last year. However, the then Governor of the Western Province, Hemakumara Nanayakara, reappointed V.K. Anura to his position. The report compiled by retired Supreme Court Judge Dr. Chandradasa Nanayakara emphasizes that the Colombo Municipal Council does not dispose of its waste in an organized manner at the Meethotamulla garbage dump. On a similar note, the report published by the Auditor General states that the Municipal Commissioner and other officials at the Colombo Municipal Council should be held accountable for the loss incurred by the Colombo Municipal Council as a result of poor waste management. The audit reports further mentions of the loss which the government would have to bear since a streamlined process has not been followed when providing compensation to those who were affected by the collapse of the garbage dump. For the 4 months since I was appointed as governor, I appointed a commission to probe this matter extensively. Now all have been revealed, and I believe VK Anura should be removed from that position immediately. The commission will have another sitting tomorrow, and we believe that they will remove the commissioner. Regardless of whoever is against this, we will turn this into an institution which does not engage in any wrongdoings. We will not be intimidated. So I believe Anura will be removed from his position by tomorrow. Following that removal, we hope this municipal council will improve for the better.
Minister of Power, Energy and Business Development Ravi Karunanayake engaged in an inspection tour around the Valachene power plant in Batiklo today.
Certain disruptive individuals receive satisfaction when such problems take place. We have temporarily solved this issue, but the problem still persists. All employees of the Ceylon Electricity Board are committed in providing an uninterrupted power supply to the general public, and we are currently working towards achieving this. Despite unsatisfactory weather conditions, we have implemented other temporary measures to fulfill the CEB's power requirement.
In sports, it is cricket. Dimuth Karunaratne has been appointed as Sri Lanka's ODI captain and will lead the team during the ICC Cricket World Cup later in England and Wales. Now, Sri Lanka Cricket said that Sports Minister approved the appointment of Dimuth Karunaratne as captain. And that is a wrap up Primetime News. Thank you very much for watching. I am Shahin Durampati. Good night and do take care.